Okay, Beshem Hashem Nasem and Astiach, Harav Netaneli Shalita gave a Divrei Torah during the Seudah of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai Alav Hashalom. Unlike Ba'omer morning, there was a Seudah, and Baruch Hashem, I was there. I was Zohar to be there, and he went through the whole history of Zohar-Part and some of the greatness of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai that I'm going to Bezat Hashem try to say it over in English, and Bezat Hashem this should be a light, making our ways more clear, our path towards Torah and Yahadut, Bezat Hashem. Okay, first of all, how come Zohar-Part is very new to us? Some Gedulim haven't even read Zohar-Part, or Zohar-Part is not so much found in Batei Midrashot. Right? You go to yeshivot, some very famous yeshivot, you might not find Zohar-Part. Why is that? Right? So our Chachamim teach us that Zohar-Part is more than 1800 years old. Right? Goes back to the time of Tanaim. Right? You read Zohar-Part, you find all these names of Tanaim. Right? And still we don't have it so much among Ashkenazim. Why is that? So the reason is Harav Netaneli mentioned that around 600 years ago, a king discovered Zohar-Part hidden in boxes under the ground. And since then, Chachamim looked into these books, these Sefarim, and they found, wow, this is the secrets of Torah. And the reason that this has been hidden was because the Rason of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the will of Hashem was that this should be discovered around 600 years ago, because prior to that, the Jewish nation, Am Israel, were not in the state of mind, and other difficulties were so much that if Zohar-Part would have been found, they could have not kept it. And if you have certain resources and you can follow and you cannot, bring it to action, and then that individual would become Chayav, prosecuted, right? Hashem would tell him, you learned about this, you had these resources, why didn't you keep it? Why did you ignore it? Right? Obviously, this doesn't mean some people say, okay, we don't want to learn Torah because as soon as we learn Torah, we become obligated. No, Chas v'Shalom. You need to learn Torah. You need to do your best to keep Torah and Mitzvot. You cannot say, I'm not going to learn because I don't want to become obligated. So, briefly, Zohar-Part was found in the right time that the Jewish nation had the ability to uphold its lessons, to keep its lessons.
It's a standard.
And its standards, right? And the Kedusha. Because Zohar-Part is much more Kadosh, holy, than other Sefarim. Right? With all the respect to other Sefarim, it's much more holier. You read it, you see, right? And reading, for example, we say that Torah, reading Torah, Torah Kedusha, right? Even if a person is Tameh, should still learn Torah. Why? Because Torah does not accept Tum'ah. Right? The Torah is something that is the antidote against Tum'ah. However, when it comes to learning Zohar-Part, right? Eliyahu Netaneli Shalita mentioned that a person, man or woman, they need to be tahor. Right? Men or women need to be tahor. If men want to learn Zohar-Part, right, they can't just rely, right, on other leniencies. They have to make sure that they are tahor. If they need to go to mikveh, then they go to mikveh. If they can't go to mikveh, they need to take shower. If they cannot take shower, they need to do the Netilat Yadayim, right? Now with Torah, with Limud Torah of other aspects of Torah, of the Pardes, right? Perush, Remez, and Derush, right?
So,
Right? These
and
three
Sod.
steps, right, is much easier. But when it comes to Sod of Zohar HaKadosh, it has to be with Kedusha V'Tahara, right? So the question was asked, what about if there is a lady who wants to learn Zohar HaKadosh? A very famous lady wants to say Patach Eliyahu. Patach Eliyahu is from Tikkun Zohar. Who wrote this Tikkun Zohar? Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, alav shalom, himself, right? And for that also, a lady needs to be tahor, right? Needs to, if she hasn't been in mikveh and she became, nida, she needs to go through the process of purity, go to mikveh, and after that, she becomes able, she qualifies to learn Zohar HaKadosh.
I think Harav said for girls that are not married.
Right, girls that are not married, they don't need
they-
mikveh, obviously.
right. So
They
once
don't
they are
need-
clean, they could
so they don't need
after
mikveh.
the
Right. They can go to mikveh.
they cannot they
They
shouldn't
cannot go.
they should not go.
Right, they cannot. Now, another thing that Harav Netaneli mentioned, and this is very important, it tells us about the credence of Zohar HaKadosh, is that we only have a portion of this unbelievable chokhmah of the Sod. Right? There are 22 letters in Aleph Bet in Hebrew. And we only have the letter Zayin of the Zohar HaKadosh, of Zayin of Zohar, that we have it within our midst. Right? The rest needs to be found. Right? And Bez Hashem, in the time of Mashiach, I mean, as we know right now, there is the amount of Zohar classes that is going on. Baruch Hashem is Zohar to have it, Kol Chasod, and other times of the week. This is unbelievable. As the Arizal teaches us, that Zohar HaKadosh, one who learns it, right, one who reads it, it does affect to the neshama even without understanding what a person is reading. And Harav Mordechai Eliyahu, alav shalom, explains that just like a person will be questioned, right, after his life in this world, in the heavenly court, they question, did you learn Torah? Right? They're going to ask, did you learn Zohar HaKadosh? Right? So a person, obviously, there are different madrigos to learn Zohar HaKadosh, but just to read the Pesukim and not to go to certain aspects of Sod and Kabbalah, that is perfectly fine. Anybody could just read, and it does what it is supposed to do.
Even if they read it and don't
understand
it, they could read also part of the
They
Kabbalah.
can read, they can do, they can learn, and one would see the difference. It's so Harav Eliyahu Netaneli mentioned that right now the halacha is according to Rabbi Yehuda, right? In Mishnayot, right, many halachot is according to Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, who was the author of Mishnah, and then we have the Gemarot that explains the Mishnah. However, right, in the times of Mashiach, right, when Mashiach comes, the halacha will become different. Will become like Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Why? So why not now? Because we are not up to that level of the Kedusha V'Tahara to go one step further, to keep Torah and Mitzvot according to Kabbalah. However, this doesn't mean one should ignore the teachings of Arizal and the Minhagim of the Sephardim, that there are many things that we do according to Sod, according to Kabbalah. Those that are very good and is very good for the Neshama needs to follow. I spoke with a very respectful Rav today, and I told him about the importance of that which Harav Netaneli holds, that one should try to keep Shulchan Aruch together with the teachings of Arizal as much as possible. And he This Rav, that I respect him very much, right? He said, no, I go with Pashut Peshat. I go with the Peshat. I go with the simple halachot. And he said, right, Nistarot belong to Shamayim. This is not true. Right? This is not true.
It's not Nistarot though.
Right?
This is not Nistarot.
This is not even Nistarot.
Right, because Nistarot is when
this
you
is
don't
not
know.
a Nistar. We have it here. It's not hidden. We have it here. Right? So this is something that and Harav and Netaneli mentioned, a story that shows the greatness of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. That one time there was this place that Kohanim had to pass by, and this is interesting. Harav Musafi Shalita, Harav Ben Sion Musafi Shalita, this past week said the same story, right? That there was this pathway, Kohanim had to pass it, and unfortunately there were some dead bodies there, but nobody knew exactly where. So the Kohanim had to go all around it. It was very hard to go, time consuming. So they asked Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai what to do. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai came to that place, and he threw these what's it called? Nochod. What is nochod? Chickpeas, right? He threw it, and obviously prayed to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and all the dead bodies arised from the ground. Wherever they were buried, they came up. So the Yehudim went, and they removed the bodies and gave them burial on another side. So their story went out, and there was this older person who didn't respect Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai so much.
I heard from Harav Yehuda Shlomo that he was Kuti.
He was Kuti.
That's what I heard. He said from the Gemara.
Yeah, probably. Kuti, not a Yehudi.
Yeah, he was
Kuti, right. I think Harav Ben Sion Musafi Shalita also said that he was a Goy.
Yeah.
So this Kuti, this Gentile, wanted to disrespect Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. So what he did, he removed a dead body from cemetery, and he buried it there. He buried it there, and he came, he made fun. He said, look, you think there is no dead body here? You're making a mistake. There is a dead body here. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said, the one who is standing should go under the ground, and the one that is lying down should come up to the ground. And this is exactly what happened. He died, he went under the ground, and the dead body came up, so they were able to remove it. Right? So this is important. We asked a question from Arab Netaneli, how come in Iran they didn't make fire for Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai's Hilulah? Right. And Harav mentioned perhaps they didn't know. Why? What is the whole source of fire? The source of fire and like Ba'omer is, which is the Machlochet. Was it really Hilulah of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai or wasn't? And Harav said it was. So that he really passed away, unlike Ba'omer, right? And he said that one needs to rejoice. That's why we rejoice. And then Harav said that when he died, there was a fire that came protecting his house and where he was living, right? And this fire was visible to his students.
Yeah, when he was living. It was Zutra, I think.
It was visible to his students.
And then Elazar and Abba was seeing it. Few people were seeing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And also another thing, if you look at in the Zohar-Part, there is a lot of quotations of Rabbi Abba.
Yeah.
That Rabbi Abba, alayhi shalom, I said that once so and so was going on a derech, right? He was traveling, and all of a sudden, this rabbi taught that rabbi this Divrei Torah, that Divrei Torah, and they exchanged Divrei Torah. Obvious question: how come Rabbi Abba was able to know all these conversations? So the answer is Ruach HaKodesh, divine spirit. Right? And through the divine spirit, he was able to know all of this and wrote it down in Zohar-Part. So right now we only have one letter of the 22 letters of Aleph Bet, which is the Zohar that we have, which is Zayin. And Harav says it's important to know that on the day of Lag BaOmer, one needs to be happy. And there was this Sadiq, there was this Talmid Chacham who mourned over the destruction of
Abraham Bruchim.
Rabbi Harav Abraham Beruchim Alav Shalom. He used to say Nachem every day, including for the destruction of Beit HaMikdash, including the day that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai
he did, yes, he also did on that day.
That passed away. So later on, Arizal realized this, and Arizal sent a messenger to tell him this is wrong that you're doing. And apparently Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai came to the dream of Arizal, right?
Yeah, he came and
said that so and so that is doing this,
it's
going to get real nechama. And what was the real nechama that happened?
Nechama. He wouldn't have to.
Yeah, but the lashon of Harav Netaneli was nechama. How come? That Rav's wife passed away. Daughter passed away. Barmina lo aleinu, and some get nechama is the opposite of nechama.
Right.
And so unfortunately, he was told, but it was too late. It was too late, and his daughter passed away. So one is to be careful to celebrate Lag BaOmer. One is to celebrate the Lag BaOmer because of all the Torah that is compared to Aish. We asked Harav, should one put a lot of time into making fire or learn Torah? It's time consuming, you get this, oil, that, obviously learning Torah. Talmud Torah can get kulam. Right? Talmud Torah can get kulam. And there were a lot of other questions asked. Right now I just don't remember. And Bezat Hashem, we try to mention other lessons in another time. Baruch Adonai Leolam, Amen v'Amen.